Winnipeg Hockey Talk would like to welcome you to its live version of Random Thoughts on the Winnipeg Jets with host Harley Friesen and WinnipegHockeyTalk.com's owner and writer, Mitch Kasprick.
Well, hello there. After a week-long break, I see you've rebranded us. Take a look in the corner, people. JHT instead of WHT. We are Jets Hockey Talk.
Yeah, Winnipeg's a little too broad now. When I was into covering the Winnipeg Ice and
that's right. I remember those days.
Yeah, and some of the minor hockey. I can't get up to the minor hockey like I used to be able to when I scouted. So I just figured, you know what? I watch all the Moose games and Jets games on my satellite or whatever, and we're just going to keep it to Jets talk. And I just wanted a fresh look. I've always liked the bright red and the crossed hockey sticks. So I figured time for a rebrand. And now when people, especially with being on YouTube, with copyright infringements, I can't say Winnipeg Jets, this and that. I can say, was speaking on the Winnipeg Jets, but I can say Jets, right? So if you're looking for hockey and looking for Jets, that's the new logo, and I think it's kind of sharp. And I actually have. This is what happens when you're retired. I have 4 or 5 different logos. I like to play around with them, right? The different colors and sticks and stuff. But yeah, it was kind of cool. I just think it's clean and plain and it looks nice.
So fresh.
That's what's going to probably come next year on the new shirts and stuff and the hats when we get them. Cool. All depends how many viewers we get, so it's up to you guys.
It's all up to y'all.
Yeah.
Well, it's amazing how one day can completely change the conversation around a hockey team. A week ago, we were talking about all these possibilities. Now, with free agency underway, we have some answers, a few surprises, and just as many questions. So today, we'll sort through what's happened since the last episode and what it could mean for the Winnipeg Jets.
Yeah, this isn't a big show. It's like, July, a few things have happened. We're not going to do the hour shows. I just wanted to...
He just wanted to spend time with me.
That's right. The honest thing is I was supposed to do it yesterday, and even my friends told me, I'd wait for Harley. She's and they said, this is the real star of the show. So I said, yeah, it sounds good. That way she can keep me under control. So
yeah,
here we go.
Yes, that leads us on to our first thought of the day. Jets. The Winnipeg Jets dipped their toes into the UFA pool on July 1st. The opening day, and signed 2 interesting players in goaltender Stuart Skinner and defenseman Mario Ferrero.
Did you notice a little? Yeah. Did you notice a little playing on words with dip their toes into the free agent pool? Very creative. That's why I'm the writer here to town. But anyway, for me the big thing was, and I had mentioned a couple days before, I was talking to some of my buddies, and Ben included, was one of our regulars, and I said to him, the guy, I want Stuart Skinner. And he goes, blah, blah, blah. I watched Stuart Skinner in junior, and I watched him flail away with the Oilers. And he says, man, and I just said, oh, really? I says, how many Stanley Cup finals has Helly been to? And Skinner's been to 2 and lost 2. So at least he's been there twice, right?
Yeah.
And the guys change teams. They get with different coaches. Stuart Skinner was, I think, thrilled with the chance to get with Wade Flaherty. Wade Flaherty has a pretty good reputation around the league as a good goaltenders coach. And so for me, I think Eric Comrie's fate was sealed when Helly was injured and he shit the bed there. That's where the Jets lost their playoff.
Yeah.
When you look at that, there was about a 12 or 13 game stretcher when you only missed the playoffs by 2 or 3 points. There's the points right there, right? But Stuart Skinner isn't a great goalie. I'm not going to say he's the savior, but you know what he is? He's a nice backup. Maybe he can play a few extra games and give Helly some rest, if Helly's still here. Let's say that, of course, Chevy knows what's going to happen because he knows what's on the table for trades, right? They're just a matter of, waiting until he gets the deal he wants. And if he doesn't get it, Helly's going to stay here. But if it's Buffalo, when it's, UPL, Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen, and Stuart Skinner, that's a pretty nice 1-2 combo. They're not great, but together they're a good tandem. and maybe they can benefit from the Jets' better defensive play that should be coming back this year. And so, he's a good backup,
Yeah.
and it's a good backup in case Helly's gone.
Right.
So the thing I like about it is, you know how I felt about Connery, right? I just never thought he was an NHL goaltender.
Nope.
So Ben should be actually appreciative that Stuart Skinner is a massive upgrade over Eric Connery. And nothing bad to say about Connery. He's well liked in the dressing room, and the guys like him. But let's be let's be honest. He kind of cost us the playoffs last year.
I would agree with that.
Yeah. So, and the other guy we got was he's kind of a guy that has been on the Jets' radar for a few years, even back with trade talks. He played with San Jose. Now he's with us.
Oh, did he?
Mario Ferrero. He's a mid guy in his mid-20s, kind of like he's not a top pairing defenseman. He's probably third pair, borderline second pair. Like he's like a fourth, fifth, sixth defenseman on a team. Very workmanlike, honest, plays tough, can move the puck decently. Nothing flashy, but just solid. Just solid. And he kind of wanted to come to a Canadian market. I believe, where's he from now? I think he's from out east. I think he's from. I don't know if he's from Toronto, but he's.
Oh yeah.
He said he wanted to play in the
Oh.
He wanted to play in the Canadian market, and he knows what it's like. He played junior in the OHL, so yeah, he was pretty happy to get here. So yeah, I just think it was a good, nice, safe signing. But for me, the guy I wanted right off the bat was Stuart Skinner. He was the first guy I saw, and I went, good work done.
Yeah.
Got Vigo last week at the draft. We got Stuart Skinner. Should be a good acquisition for the team. What his role will be, we don't know yet. We don't know what's happening with Connor Hellebuck. I almost think with all the diversion and stuff, and I think the only diversion that's really happening with Connor is everything outside the team. Within the team, I don't know. I don't, like how do the other players feel? How would they feel welcoming him back into the room? And so it could be more of a distraction. So maybe we almost have to trade him. If Chevy gets the right package, he'll do it. He's not afraid to pull the trigger, but he's got his eyes probably set on a couple guys on Buffalo. And if he doesn't get them, Helly will be here in camp in September, and the Jets should be a much improved team. And maybe we go have a solid season, and all this crap is put behind us and forgotten.
Seriously.
Really simple,
Seriously.
Yeah.
Well, if that's all you have to say, we'll go on to thought number 2, NHL. The early stages of free agency frenzy 2026 has come and gone with a few interesting names still on the board. And who are they?
Yeah, well, it wasn't a great UFA class, and a couple of the better UFAs actually got signed and had deals done before July 1st, Canada Day, which is, the day everybody gets overpaid. But Patrick Kane's still out there.
Oh, okay.
Veteran guy. Not a guy that's going to do you anything long term, but he might be kind of guy we might be interested in for, like, he's not going to sign a 1-year deal anymore, but he might sign a 2. But he could be a stopgap here for one of our young studs coming up. Do I think Patrick Kane would sign here? Probably not. He'd probably be looking at a team at his age that he thinks a bona fide cup contender. So he'd be looking at a team like a Colorado or maybe a Dallas or something, or maybe in the East, maybe a Florida or Carolina. I mean, those teams can't have everybody, right? You only have so much money to spend and so much room on your roster. So he might have to slum it a bit and maybe go to a different team. But the guys I'm interested in on the Jets' perspective is Anthony Mantha, good player, good winger, good size. I just think he's a career underachiever, and maybe he needs another change of scenery because he's a pretty good hockey player. So he would help us. It's always like, which guy you're going to get, the good Anthony Mantha or the malaise Anthony Mantha. But he's a guy I'd be interested in, and a guy I've always liked even going back to the Nashville days. And he's a free agent. He's played for Seattle the last couple of years. His name is Eli Tolvanen. He's a Finnish kind of a sniper. he's never really broken out, with a big year. Maybe with the right team, with the right line meets, right line, right opportunity, he could. He's got a great shot, pretty decent skater, offensive. And, the thing that's always funny about these players is when they're not on your team and you don't pay a lot of attention to them, their defensive game gets lost on you. I don't know if, and there's probably, how we harp on every guy we know all their deficiencies. They make, oh my God, blah, blah, blah. We can't say that about him. I don't know that about him. There's a few guys I do, but you don't know that about every player, because when you're watching your own guys, every play is like life and death type of thing.
It feels that way.
And when they make a mistake, and then you can crap on them, right?
Yeah.
But other players on other teams, you don't notice it as much. So, to be honest with you, I don't know how defensively responsible he is, but offensively, I like some of the tools he has in his kit. So,
well, we need some people.
And
with
he's
good shots.
he's the type of guy that these guys I'm mentioning, they're not going to cost you an arm and a leg. They're not going to be $8-9 million guys.
Be a reasonable.
So they're exactly. Yeah. And they Van Dyke could see a bit of a longer contract. Kane would be a shorter one, and I don't think he's coming here. Tolvanen, who knows? But there's some interesting names out there. There's a few other guys. Where's my list here? Yeah, you got Michael Bunting, useful player, but he kind of falls into that third line type of thing. We just have too many guys on the third and fourth line that are good players. We don't need
first and second.
We need guys up the ladder. We need, so we'll go from there.
Next is thought 3, focusing on the Jets. Wow, Cole Perfetti has filed for salary arbitration. Is this a big deal?
Yeah, well, everybody gets all, whatever. It's just, it's
Sounds
a tool.
Like it'd be a big
Yeah, it does. It does sound like that, doesn't it? Because it can be a bit of a confrontational process.
Okay.
But I'll explain that on the next thought. But no, it's just, what it is? It's just due diligence. It's part of the process when you can't agree on a contract. And with Cole, he's a hard guy to negotiate with, because he's shown flashes of competency as a good NHL player, but he's also shown that he's a little bit, I wouldn't say he's injury prone, but he's had some bad luck with injuries.
Okay.
And for a young guy, it's not a good thing to follow you around. The thing that's always kind of just bothered me, and I mentioned it last year, the Jets drafted Cole as a center, and they're playing him on the wing, and he's not very big, and he gets crunched into the boards, and he's had a couple of shoulder injuries. He's not the greatest skater, but he's smart. I don't think you have to be a great center or a great skater to be a great center. I just think you have to have good awareness, and his hockey sense is pretty high. So we're sitting here pissing and moaning about the need for a 2C. We got one right on the wing, and never even given him a chance.
You already signed one.
But it's not happening. They're committed to keeping him on the wing. And unlike that, Chevy said this week, I didn't bother writing anything on it, but Vigo Bjork, when Chevy had his presser on Friday, they asked him about him. Well, so is Vigo going to be on the wing? And no. He says, he just flat out said, Vigo Bjork is a centerman.
Yeah.
So there's your 2C for next year. And it looks like they're going to as of right now, looks like they're going to let him and Braden Yeager fight for that. Two good choices.
Yeah.
They might have to bite the bullet for a year with a young guy, right? And they didn't have that option last year, because they just didn't have a young guy that could have played there. So they went with Taves, right? But the thing is now, so you lose a year of development with those guys. You could have plugged the guy in there. Maybe we didn't have the guy, and then you give him a year under his belt, and he's gonna, growing pains and that. So we might have to go through a year or so of growing pains. But as long as he has a good support staff and the team overall is just more defensively responsible, in that you can ride that way.
Could work out well.
But I still think, to be honest, they're saying it's an open tryout. One of those guys has a chance, but I wouldn't be surprised if Chevy signs a veteran center. There's just none out there. I don't know who he's thinking. He'd have to trade for one. So anyway, I will move on to the next one, like you were saying. Just read number 4, and I'll go over some of the other stuff.
Sure. Thought 4, NHL. The NHL salary arbitration
Yeah.
is a formal process that allows eligible restricted free agents and their teams to settle contract disputes. Both sides submit a proposed salary to a neutral arbitrator who holds a hearing and issues a binding 1 or 2 year contract for the player.
Yeah.
Okay.
I got to play arbitrator once, It wasn't in sports, though.
And what was
But I
it
got
for?
to be, my sister had a car accident, and her and Autopac couldn't come to an agreement.
Oh,
So
and you were the
she
arbitrator?
hired me as the arbitrator for her, and I went in there and negotiated with Autopac, and it's cool. It was
You'd be
it's
good
a
at
different
that.
version
You'd
of
be
it,
good
right?
at that.
But and I won. I got her.
Oh, that's
money,
what I'm saying.
so,
You'd be good at that.
so if you look
They're
on
always
the list here,
lowballing too.
there's all kinds. Yeah, for sure. There's all kinds of different. For the viewers, if you want to get more into it, go read it. But I'll tell you the basis of it. After filing for arbitration, the team and the player can keep on negotiating right to the final minute. Like the arbitrator will set a date where he makes this decision, and in between now and then, they submit proposals where he can. This is his options. I believe he can pick either proposal or he can make his own.
Okay.
Generally speaking, for the most part, the player and the team always get it done before it gets to that date. And there is the rare occasion, and it has happened, where the arbitrator awards a certain amount and the team goes, no, I'm not paying it. And the team can walk away from it. And that player just becomes a flat out free agent.
Oh, wow.
Now, that's not a good way. That's not good asset management.
Yeah.
But it can happen, and it has happened. So I don't foresee that with Perfetti. It'll be one of those deals where, see, the thing is, too, is it comes to a point that if it does get to right to the end, you got the agents and the ownership and themselves, and they're sitting across the table. So here's me and you negotiating against each other going, well, she does this, she stumbled her words, and she said this wrong. And you're going, yeah, fuck, but if it wasn't for me, nobody'd watch this show. Stuff like that. That's the stuff that gets... So you got to have thin skin, and you can't take it personally, because that's what happens, is they're kind of cutting you down a little bit to make their point. So that's why teams like to get it, and players like to get it done, because it can be uncomfortable.
Right.
The team loves you and they want to sign you, but they're going to try to make the best deal for themselves. So, like I say, to the people out there, read some of the stuff here that I put on there, and it's no big deal, but it's just a process, and it'll get done. Anyway.
On to thought 5, Jets. Connor Hellebuck is still a Winnipeg Jet.
Yeah. Yay. Here's the thing. Until... going right up to camp, like something could happen right until like a week before or 2 weeks before. They'll keep talking. It's like a game of chicken right now I think it's still between Buffalo and Winnipeg, and there's probably one player that's kind of in somebody's craw either way, and it's either going to happen or it's not. And I think that's why I think they kind of have to trade him, because it's always going to be in the back of everybody's mind. If he gets off to a slow start and starts playing like crap, they're going to say, yeah, his head's not in it. It's just like, I just don't see nothing good from letting this thing linger.
Yeah.
I've never wanted to trade him. I don't think it would have ever gotten to this point. It just got out of hand, and the media and every blogger and team just ran with it. And
there's a lot going around.
But here's the thing. Within the team, like we'll say with Helly and Scheif and all the guys that are in the know, they talk, they could be sitting here laughing their asses off going like, what the hell? This ain't happening, and I'll be back next year. So, maybe the team itself is fine.
Yeah.
But from the outside, there's a lot of noise. And you know what? There's kind of a lot to be said with that old adage, where there's smoke, there's fire. But I don't know about this one. There seems like so much of the smoke and the fire has been generated from the fans and the media.
Yeah.
So I just figured I'd throw it out there as a tease, and a Connor Hellebuck still a Jet. I don't know how many of these articles I'm going to write over the summer now, but put it this way, as long as he's a Jet, I'm going to write it every week, every time I do one. But yeah. So next. Oh, this is good. You're going to like this.
Yes, we have some fun things to show you in thought number 6.
Yeah.
Which is the NHL fan base ranking. And I see Jets are pretty high up there.
Well,
Must be because they have some good podcasts talking about them.
well, there's a lot of good podcasters in the city. So what this it's called Hockey Vice. I don't know who they are. I'm gonna have to do some research into them. But if you look at what makes me laugh is they have Winnipeg first. They have Winnipeg, Edmonton, Vancouver, Chicago, Toronto, Ottawa, Detroit
I'm surprised
as the
USA
high IQ.
How is America in there at all?
Yeah, they have the high IQ ones, and then right at the bottom, they go high IQ, smart casuals, and there's a bunch of teams, and then they have average, then they have not smart, they have really not smart, and they got Vegas and Florida in there, which doesn't surprise me.
Florida for sure.
Florida's,
Sorry,
but the
y'all.
thing that's funny about it, and look how lucky those fan bases are. Maybe that's what it's based on. They have no clue. And between this team, they've been in like 8 of the last 8 cups. One of them.
Yeah,
And
I don't know what that
Florida's
says.
won 2, and Vegas has won 1. So their fans are spoiled. They don't have a clue. They don't know what it's like with these guys right here, Toronto. They don't know what suffering is. And Detroit. I mean, we're suffering, but Detroit's suffering too. They haven't been in the playoffs for a long time. So, yeah, that's that. To me, that's funny.
Interesting. I wonder what they base this off of.
Yeah, I'm going to
This is
keep my eye on it. As long as it's good, I'm going to leave it up there. When they start crapping on us, I'll go, oh, fuck them. They don't know nothing. What are these guys doing?
You're right.
Anyway, so we'll carry on there to...
I think that leads us to our questions
Yeah.
for this show. We'll start off with one from Andy.
Yeah.
Thank you, Andy. He is asking, at Comrie's price, why didn't they re-sign him instead of Skinner?
Andrew, I'm embarrassed that you had to ask this, really. Did you not watch those games when Connor Hellebuck was injured? Eric Comrie single-handedly.
We would have done just as well with no goalie in the net.
Yeah, but I think
what I can say.
I think his point was money-wise, because Skinner cost us 2.5 or 2 something.
Okay.
And that was the mistake the Jets made 4 or 5 years ago, 3, 4 years ago. We had Laurent Boissois as our number 2 goalie, and him and Hellebuck won the Jennings twice, I think. When you put Boissois in net, you always felt like your chances to win were just as good as Helly. They were a great tandem. They're really, really good together. And the Jets let him get away to free agency that next year. And he's never been the same since, because I think he's been injured. But they let him get away over, I think he signed with maybe Chicago or somebody, like for $2 million. $2 million for a backup's not bad. When you figure, if you're going to have 2 goalies on your team, you might have 1 elite and 1 cheap. But you're probably spending 10, 12 million on 2 goalies. So what does it matter if you spend 2 or 2.5? Like Helly's making 8. Skinner's making 2, 2.5. That's only 10 million in net. So they learned their lesson. They got a good, capable backup who still might be part of a tandem of starters. So Andy, yeah, it was had nothing to do with money. It had to do with performance.
From Sparky, or do you want to go?
Yeah, I don't care. Whatever you pick them in any order you want. Yeah.
Okay, Sparky. He says, once the Jets move Helly, how soon will 55 and 81 want out? Yeah,
none. Those guys are cut from a different cloth. Scheif was one of those guys that always said he'd love to retire playing for one team, kind of like Steve Yzerman did.
Right.
And he signed this deal. Maybe his last contract. Who knows? Probably his last contract as a pro. And he's a Jets lifer. I think as long as Scheif is still here, Casey's going to stay here too. Casey's not like the other American players that he's cut from a different cloth too. I just think he likes being a Jet. He likes playing with Scheif. He's getting paid good money. Probably still believes in the team. So yeah, I think these guys are a lot different. I don't think they're anything like a lot of the other guys that once they start losing a bit, they want out. They're just hockey players that want to play, and they know they're the key to winning. So yeah, whatever. Casey and Scheif aren't going anywhere. Next.
And on to the next from Ben. Do you think we are in a win-win situation? If Helly stays, we have a legit backup, so maybe Helly only plays 50 games and is rested for the playoffs. Or if Chevy does get good compensation on a deal, we gather more assets and still have competence in
Yeah, it's a win-win for sure. The only thing that's not a win-win about it is having the cloud hanging over your head.
Right.
It's a win-win if you can get it settled one way or the other. It's a win-win if Chevy can get the forward he wants. See, he's going to want a legitimate top six forward and potentially. I know the sticking point was that draft pick, that number 4. They had probably already agreed on a couple players, right? But he wanted the number 4 overall selection from Buffalo, the one they got in the trade with Chicago. And Buffalo said, sure, but we want your 8th. They want to flip flop him. So we would have moved up the ladder and got a really, really good player. But as it turns out, we got a really, really good player at number 8. And they still wanted 4, and they were going to, I don't know what they would have drafted with it. But that was the sticking point there. So, yeah, it's good. It's a win-win if they can get it settled and put it behind us. I really don't want this hanging over. Here's the thing. I almost think you got to trade him now. Like I said it before, the sooner he's gone and you remove that doubt, that lingering doubt, unless he comes out and just says, "Oh, whoa, 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 we had fun with this all summer, all the speculation. I've never asked for a trade. I did give Chevy a list of teams I'd go to if he had to move me, but I don't want to go anywhere. I like a couple of the off-season moves, so let's just put this to rest. I don't want to go anywhere. I'm not going anywhere." Until I hear that, I think he's getting traded.
Well, there you have it then.
Yeah.
On to the next one from Andy. Do you think our first round pick will crack the lineup?
You must have missed last week's show because I was all over Vigo. If he has his contractual situation with Desjardins in Sweden done, and he doesn't have to go back to Sweden for a year, and he ends up playing in the NHL, I believe, yes, he starts with the Jets and he probably stays with them. I think he's worth the growing pains to go through. Like I said, I saw enough of him at the World Championships to say that he can definitely play against men. So,
yeah, you like him.
And the Jets would be crazy. He just said it's a year of development. Let him get his feet wet, and he might be a great player in the second half of the year and really good the next year. A lot of these guys could just step right in and let's pick up. They just go level to level, right? Hopefully he's one. So yes.
Well, now that we're talking about Vigo, Ben's second question
It's Ben, yes.
Based on what everyone is saying about Vigo's camp, is it out of the question to think our drastic search for that elusive 2 seed is over?
Potentially. Yes. I think it is. I mean, I'm at that point right now where I just say, let's commit to him.
Yeah.
I've seen enough of him, and then watching a lot of the video from development camp and just how much he's ahead of the other guys in his own peer group tells me that he's a special player. So
that tells you everything. These
guys, you got to give them some runway and let them go with it.
And our last one from Sparky. Who is this new D-man? Onto our
I don't know if he was talking about Henrik Thrun, who was a kind of a small acquisition that probably was an AHL acquisition. He'll play for the Moose. He was kind of highly touted before his draft year as a pretty good offensive defenseman. So maybe the Jets drafted him to play in the American League and see what he can do and develop there, if that's who he was talking about. Or he could be talking about Mario Ferraro. And I just think, Mario Ferraro was a solid signing. And it's short, 2 years, which is good because we got, Alphonse Frage, who's young. You got Sasha Boumedian. You got Elias Solomonson, who already has made it. And so you got these young guys that are knocking on the door within the next year or two. So you don't want to be all clogged up there, with your DeMellos and Pionks and what they say with Mario Ferraro. So I think he signed a 2-year deal. So placeholders, right, for these young kids to get in there. yeah,
Cool.
that's where we're at. So thanks for the question, guys.
Yeah, that's awesome. We always love when you send
Oh yeah,
send stuff in so we can talk more.
yeah,
We like
for
to
sure.
talk. Yeah, well, there you have it. Jets Hockey Talk episode of the week. Thank you for tuning in. We will see you whenever next time may be.
Yeah, let us know what you think about the rebrand. I
Yeah.
like the logo. See, I've been very partial. I started like go back to the Twitter days. I wanted something bright and flashy. I want that bright red, and it's noticeable. I got a little story here. We forgot any time. Yeah, we got some time. When
It's your show
when
after
we
all.
were when we were living in Charleswood, in Nick Ealer's first year, when he was in junior playing for I don't know if it wasn't Moncton. I don't think Halifax Mooseheads.
Okay.
I kind of thought we were gonna maybe draft him. I thought he was the guy I wanted, so
Mhm.
I followed that team, and I used to banter with him a little bit on at that time was Twitter, right? And I'd send stuff out, and he'd either like it or retweet it. It said something about stuff about the Jets, right?
Oh,
So
that's
on
cool.
Twitter, he would, because we interacted, he would know my logo, right?
Mhm.
So when we were selling the house on Laxdal, our real estate agent was Dave Watson.
Mhm. I remember.
Dave Watson was Nick Ealer's billet the first year Nick was here.
Oh,
So
no way.
Jets put him with some family so they could get
Yeah.
their feet wet.
Yeah.
So
Very
Dave,
cool.
one day Dave had one of my Winnipeg Hockey Talk business cards,
Mhm.
and he says, "You recognize this guy?" And he started laughing. He says, "Oh yeah, I know it. I know that." So there you go. And it just goes to show you that logo and that bright red. This has brand recognition. So
Yeah.
yeah, Nick Yumi. There you go. I wish they
You're
would have came
famous,
over and
you're
visited, but he
famous.
didn't.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah. So there's another story from the deep Mitch's whatever his senility, his senile stories from whatever. But yeah, it was. There's another story. It's story time. So I think I'm gonna go and go have a nap now. But thanks, yeah, thanks for
Yeah.
taking a day out of your holidays to pop in for a little show here. It was
Mhm.
fun. I like doing these little shows.
Mhm.
They're not
Me
as
too.
stressful as the big ones when the Jets are playing and they're losing and they're pissing us off.
Oh
But yeah.
yeah.
Anyway, you guys just watch for the notifications if we go live again, because with it being on YouTube, you'll get a notification, and for sure, shoot some comments into the even after the video. That helps the channel get a little more recognition, and
A little more traction.
yeah, well, it does for sure. And of course, the likes help, all the stuff help, everything helps. So yeah, we appreciate the people that do are pretty regular with us. So yeah, love you.
Yep. Love
Gotta
ya.
leave you. I'm going to make some cookies.
They're good too. Be jealous.
Yep.
Okay. See you next time.